Match against MIBR. What stands out for this match, I would say they have a new IGL in Artsin, and they're not afraid to play very aggressive.
Se for pra manter o Artzinho, que manter ele colado na boca aí. E ó, pode vir que ele quer mais! Artzinho de novo!
Yeah, for me and for my team, the strategy is only play our game. We know we are good, and we need to show in the server is the only thing.
Cortesia vai buscando ali pela caixa verde, também jogadores, chega pulando, Cortesia de novo! Cortesia mais uma!
I would say in the past we've struggled against teams that like to play loose and aggressive and get in your face, so I have a feeling they're going to be like a lot better this season, and I'm always looking forward to playing against one of the best players in the world.
Pega o dele, não leva o com que vai desarmando e faz metade, Aspas! Agora sim! Vamos, Aspas! É você!
Welcome back to VCT Americas and our second match on this Saturday. Spoiler alert, there's going to be a banger. Zoe here, joined by Sean Garris and Ender, and we're in for a treat. I speak it into existence. I will manifest this. This is going to be a banger series.
I mean, honestly, yeah, if MIBR show up, this could be a really good one.
Osboss versus G2, this is like my Super Bowl. This is like, you know, the skill on one team trying to like bust through all of the strategy on G2. The stylistic clash between these teams, oh, it's gonna be cinema.
It will be absolute cinema. Now, these two teams, they finished first and third at Kickoff, yet somehow they have not met once in the bracket. This is the first time we'll get to see these rosters face off against one another this year. How will they stack up based on what we know so far?
I mean, the things we know of MIBR, right, obviously of Osboss, but I also think you've got Cortesia and Artsin showing up so big in their last series. If you have individuals like that stepping up, you could potentially compete here with a G2 that was looking so dominant throughout the start of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Artsin, this guy didn't start the year as the IGL, took it over, and MIBR looked like a totally different team. And he's just performing better in the role. It's like he's not even setting himself up. He'll be on like Raze on split, satcheling through the orb mid solo. I mean, he's not doing that anymore. Now he's playing Breach, but I feel like he just works magic out there. Truthfully,
he's still putting out the numbers.
He's actually putting out some serious numbers.
Yeah, I think the same can be said about almost everyone who's going to be joining this server. The numbers are there. People are popping off left and right. G2 had a phenomenal performance at Masters Bangkok. They came second. They were the runner-up. Bit of a heartbreaker after the performance they put on throughout the entirety of that tournament. And then they came back here into stage one, and it was a little worrisome, I'm not going to lie, against Europe. They went down 0-8.
They went down 0-8, but this is the fakest 0-8 I have ever seen. And I will chill out for G2 any day, because honestly, I thought they were running like their alternate Lotus playbook. Usually they play like way more reactive on defense. All of these first 8 rounds, they're running like start of round aggro pieces that aren't getting worked, or you know, Fury is dodging away from them. And then the second half, they lock in. Ascent, they're locked in again. The only guy that didn't have a great second map was Trent, because they put a wall in B main. He can't play a Sov and spam that anymore, so he's struggling out there.
I mean, it's really just standard G2, right? We get that comp that they've been running on Lotus. They grind out that win. They bust out the new Asian in Waylay, which we hadn't seen yet, and it looks so good on Ascent, which has historically meant, going back to the Guard, this team loved that map.
Yeah.
I feel like the new map pool actually makes G2 better. It's so unfair. This team is actually just so unfair.
You know what makes them even better?
What is that?
Some reinforcements in the back rooms as well. They just signed Anders as well, as if that team wasn't scary enough already. Like, come on.
How are we going to have another example of G2 just stealing top talent away from Fnatic? It happens in every esport. All they do is steal their guys over real super teams.
That's actually so true.
This is actually wild. This is like a Michelin star restaurant. Get a new chef to come in and start cooking meals on the side. What is going on?
Hey, the best want to join the best. That's how it is.
And if you guys don't know who Anders is, this guy's been around with like Fnatic for forever. It's an off it again, off again relationship with them. But usually he's building like new playbooks for the team, theory crafting like optimal comps on new maps or how to work in new agents into the pool. I talked to him a little bit, and he said he was going to be doing more of that with this G2 team. So yeah, they're going to get even scarier now.
again, it's not like he took time off. Like, he's been grinding the coach rooms, watching all the regions, watching the games, and really, like, upping his mindset as far as, like, where we're at in the meta.
Yeah, I found out he was actually playing 5 stacks with Josh RT and Van Silly.
Man.
And, yeah, from the 5 stack to the pro stage, here he is.
That's crazy.
I know that.
Wheeling out there.
Yo, Van's getting, you know, call him G2.
Matchmaker.
Now, a player that I want to touch a little more on here, you just mentioned him, Jawgemo, on that Waylay. It was in America's first. We finally got to see a first look in this region as well. And obviously, Jawgemo made it work.
Surprise. So, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these support players will be playing there, and we saw Minimu do it in EMEA. He had a lineup from the box in B main with the Hinder and dove on the Sova just like that. I think moving forward, that frag isn't going to be there for Jawgemo, right? I think the player playing inside connector in that scenario will likely not have util out anymore if they're playing against the Waylay. But man, it was really exciting to watch the first time.
It's that thing, right, where you watch, you get the tapes, there's now ways to like counter out the best plays that he's gonna show initially, but that's also not the only way that he's gonna be entering into B site. You saw him dashing up over the top, you can double dash towards stairs as well. You double dash, try and fight into CT, like, you've got plenty of options with the agent.
Wait, that cosplay goes crazy, no?
Dude.
Just like the real deal, it's crazy. He does not disappoint. No, he really never does. And he always has some great insight for us as well. It was only...
So, could do better.
Okay.
And he has the best clip in VCT history, the Bucky Ace.
Yeah, so yeah, give me that on Waylay. They're like, what's this guy doing?
Well, you're asking.
He's disappointing me.
You're asking for too much out here.
Yeah, I mean, he's reaching high. It's just, it's a thing that, it's his thing. But that's okay. You know what? I was satisfied.
Because I'm tall.
I was satisfied. He did the thing, and it looked good, and I want to see more of that, and I also want to hear more from him. He was standing by earlier today with Drift. Let's hear what he had to say.
I am with Jog. Man, you're out here breaking ankles, Neon, Waylay, Yoru. How are you enjoying this meta?
I think this has definitely been like a duelist favorite meta. I think all the duelists out right now are almost liable for any map, but it's just kind of how you have to play it for sure. So yeah, I think duelists are fun right now.
All right, if you had to lock one in, pick a favorite, which one would it be?
I think people are still sleeping on Yoru. I think Yoru's still overpowered a little bit. There's some stuff that you haven't seen yet from me on Yoru, but I think Yoru can take over like any map.
And y'all got to learn the TP spray bind this guy's doing all the time. Thumbs up. All right, man. Good luck in the game.
Thank you, bro.
There you heard it. I'm excited to see what he is going to bring to the stage today. Now, unfortunately, on the other side, we didn't see any Waylay from Ospas last week, or actually that many elims for that matter. I feel like he had a surprisingly quiet game. The team still won.
That's honestly the best case scenario. This is like what we've been waiting for an Ospas team for so long, and it happened very early after Verno joined the team. And that is such a good sign that Ospas could go missing for an entire series and they still look so dominant and so good strategically. That was so shocking to me.
Especially because like Ospas is only going to have a game like this 1 in like 20, 1 in 30 games. The rest of the time he's going to be looking great. But especially I think Cortezia and Artsin looked incredible on split. I think it was Artsin's Breach was just dominating consistently. But also I think even playing the Harbor and finding frags, which is not an easy thing to do on this agent. Him and like Mazino are the only guys that can put up numbers there.
Yeah, I mean Ospas has pretty much been the king of Icebox in our region for a while now. And so he probably was just like, you must play Harbor. That's what Mazino did. You must play it. I need the Harbor behind me. This guy really knows how to play the map. And again, it's another team that with the new map pool, the changes, adding Icebox in, they benefit greatly. These teams are both situated to make deep runs in our region right now.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the individuals popping up when they really need to. Artisan was making the calls and still putting out such great numbers as well in that game.
Yeah, no, he was looking absolutely phenomenal. I think that like his flexibility is obviously a big factor for the team, what he's able to bring for them. Again, you're going to see some of the clips here with his Breach where a lot of the time like he wasn't even having like support coming in or, you know, his team is dying in front of him. But with the judge in his hands, he's just a monster.
I wish they would play the clip where he's like, I'm so good.
Yeah, he was popping off. He was so vocal.
He had 300 damage a round, over 300 damage a round on Breach in that defensive half of split. I have never seen a supporter player do something like that on Split.
Yeah, it was impressive. And then you even have like in Icebox too, how he's playing around the Viper wall, both like playing in that corner over by Generator, getting, you know, just that cringe angle that's tough to clear, abusing the little like levels of the Viper wall when he's boosted up on 410 too. Like, he was really playing nicely in these anchor spots.
He's not like the other IGLs, for lack of a better way to put it. He's willing to make some serious plays, like risky one-on-ones that are sub 50-50, and I almost trust him to win those because of the aggression he brings into the fight. It's catching a lot of players off guard right now.
I want to highlight another player here as well that we haven't really talked about just yet, Verno. He hadn't had a massive pop-off performance, but he slotted in really nicely. And obviously coming into their match, there was a lot of speculation about how Verno is going to fit in with his Brazilian squad. And he set the record straight last week on match point.
I was actually surprised, honestly, by everyone on the roster. Like, I knew they were good, but I didn't realize, like, how good they were. But they all, like, really good. Like, I can trust all of them to, like, play well and, like, kill people and know how to play.
What exactly did he mean by that?
Yeah,
I just think it's a good thing to be able to trust all of your teammates.
Every single one?
Every single one.
And I'm sure he didn't want to.
Missing, though.
No.
I'm sure he did not try to imply anything there.
No.
Absolutely not. Well, he looked extremely comfortable in and outside of the game. I feel like the vibes were just very high. And you saw the sight of relief as well when you like go back and watch that winning moment when they're heading to the front of the stage for that photo. You could see it in his face like, whew, we did it. All is well. Like that was, I think to a lot of people, very surprising that he slotted in so well.
I don't know why it's so surprising to everyone, though, truthfully, because this kid, you have to remember, when it came to the move-ups from VCT, it was like Mata and Verno, 1A, 1B. They were the top prospects in our entire region, and there's a reason for that. This kid has been insane in VCL for years now. Like, he is outrageously good. And I knew that it was just a matter of time. It's a comfort thing. And he looks way more comfortable on this team right now. And I think as time progresses, you know, he finds his way in the system, his little edges that he gets in the team. Or you have to give yours to Osboss if you're on MIBR. But he'll find his way to get space and get his own in this team. And when that happens, holy, they're stacked with skill.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that was interesting hearing this team was saying like that he's actually like a vocal guy and bringing a lot into the server as well for the team. So, you know, he can have the big moments. He's contributing to the team as well. Like, yeah, it's a little bit tougher for him because obviously there's the language you've got to deal with, and they've talked about that as well. But so far, it's worked for them, and now it's just about how long they can keep that running.
Yeah, I actually heard a lot about this in the offseason. That's why the dropping of Verno was so shocking to me. I heard he worked a lot with Bonkar both last season and this season on NRG to create a lot of individual stuff and counters to some of the teams that they're playing. I don't believe the narrative that he's not a strategic player at all.
You know what? Whether it's true or not, nothing of that matters. It doesn't even matter if any of these players is popping off or not because they have a secret weapon. And they have recently revealed said weapon. So let's take a look at it. Oh my God.
Dear God, that is the cutest
Dear
thing.
God. It's their team poppers. It's a little dachshund.
Wait, he's like smaller than his foot.
Oh my God. Osboss has to be so happy on this team.
Can you just imagine you you throw an anti-eco, and then you just get to pet the pupper?
That's an emotional support pupper, for sure.
I don't know. Now I think I know why Osboss didn't perform last week. He's literally playing with the dog.
Yo, can we do the match point with Sakura?
Is it a buffer or a distraction? I can't tell.
I mean, Osboss loves dogs, so...
That's OP. I don't know. I thought my head is telling me G2's the better team, but I kind of got to vote for MIBR.
I mean, you low-key have to, and I'm sure they're going to give us some more reasons. MIBR, Poppers, Riff spoke to them before today's match. Let's see what they have to say.
I'm here with Osboss before their match today. First off, I got to ask you, how good did it feel taking down Lev?
For me, it was a normal feeling. It was like the same as beating any team.
Okay, so nothing there. But the vibes have been amazing. Tell me how much the new puppy, Sakura, has added to the vibes of the team.
Oh, it has a little story behind. Me and my wife were thinking about getting a puppy for the team.
Okay.
Basically, the team just bought the idea, so we got the puppy together. Now, it was between Art and Fraud to stay with the puppy. This is going to be for Art, so she's adding very good vibes to the team.
All right, so we actually expect Artson as well to be fragging even harder.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. Aspas, thank you so much. Good luck in the games.
Thank you.
All right, so did I understand that correct? They have like shared custody over the poppers?
Yeah.
Like,
Aspas is cooking. The way yes, that is actually factually true. He will be fragging today because of the pupper.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, and I believe it until I see otherwise, right?
I mean, Aspas knows what he's talking about. He knows how to get killed.
It's the 6th man for MIBR. Like,
well, he's not a 6th living thing.
Okay. Just let it happen,
Okay,
Sean.
I'm sorry. I'll let it happen.
Why you gotta be like that?
I'm so sorry.
I'm excited for this one. Unfortunately, we're not going to see poppers on this stage, but we have plenty of talented players to make up for it. Actually, probably not. You can't beat the poppers. It was too cute. It was too cute. But we expect a good series to come out of both of these teams who are taken to the stage. Let's see where we're going with this one. Shocker. Okay, but if we give me percentages here, what hope is there?
I actually think this is very close. I'm going to go like 55-45. I think it's closer than what people think. I think MIBR has like almost like a sucker punch mentality right now, where I don't think G2 is going to be prepared for what they throw at them, whereas MIBR will be ready for what GT throw at them.
No, 100%.
No, what?
Okay, he said what he said. Let's find out. Proof is in the pudding as our teams are taking to the stage right now. And here they are. MIBR make some surprising roster changes heading into stage 1, adding a popper as well into the mix. The new addition, of course, of former Energy player Verno seemed to slot in really well. The vibes were good last week. In and out of the server. Want to see more of that.
It's crazy. MIBR, they've got the double plushies for Aspas. They signed both a new player and a dog coming in. I mean, they're outnumbering G2, that's for sure.
Then we got Fraud in the coaching role. Fraud, veteran in the role. Obviously, coached Loud in the past. Spent last year with MIBR. And this guy, if I'm on MIBR, I'm feeling really confident in a player like Fraud being the coach. He designs comps in a very innovative way if he has the right player base, right? Last year we had the vanilla comps. This year he's cooking.
Speaking of cooking, G2 has showed us some really good looks at Masters Bangkok. They are the runner-up, but they got caught off guard just last week by Furia with a very aggressive approach. However, they managed to stop the bleeding and recovered really well, taking that series 2-0.
Yeah, they take it 2-0. They also come into this week with the signing of their own in Anders to bring them some new strats, some new looks in the playbook on certain maps. And really, this series to me, it's going to tell me what the better signing is. Is it the strategic coach Anders, or is it the MIBR puppy Sakura? It's the 1v1 for the ages.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I'm not gonna lie. G2, they're a team that you can sit here and say positive things about all day, right? They innovate with which agents they pick. They're quick to bust out Waylay. They run Chamber on certain maps. They're running Vice on others. They're really flexing across the entire map pool. They can play all 7. So the question is where they go. First, we're going to go MIBR's pick of Pearl. And I mentioned the Chamber. Do we get that out of Leaf again?
I'd imagine so. I think he's looked really, really good on that. The bans don't surprise me at all. Lotus, G2 have never lost on it. Icebox, Aspas loves to play that map, so some targets going both ways there. But then also Haven to come out there after the Pearl.
Yeah, G2's Haven versus, the MIBR squad on Haven. That'll be an interesting matchup. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what to really expect out of G2 in that realm right there. That could be a way for MIBR to get into the series. I'm worried a little bit about the opening map of Pearl for G2, if I'm being honest, just because of how that T1 game went when we last saw them here.
That's fair, but also I feel like there were so many of those micro moments in the game versus T1 where it so easily could have gone G2's way, right? Obviously it has that bad taste left in your mouth, but whether it's getting your foot spammed while you're defusing a spike that absolutely shouldn't be happening, or
cope and seed.
All these, let me cope and seed, man. They should have won that series.
Way to go.
Okay, so Jawgemo just last week literally challenged him. He said, I want to play Waylay against Aspas. Now, is he taking the honorable duel on the other side, though? He has to. He must.
No, surely it's still a Yoru, I think.
No.
Double Waylay would go crazy.
That'd be so good.
No, it's still the Yoru. I think Yoru is too good on this map. It's a big map. The teleports rotate fantastic. The clones to break Fi's utility, too strong.
And Jawgemo has secretly become probably one of the top Yorus in our entire region.
Yeah.
I mean, that best of 5 was a masterclass from the Yoru role.
Speaking of masterclass, MIBR put a lot of work into Pearl. They went 3-0 in Kickoff on that map. Let's see what they have in store for us today as they are getting this one rolling. We're in for a treat. Two of the league's best are ready to do battle, and Uber and Wyatt are here for the call.
Thank you very much. So you better saddle up, folks, because we have wrangled two grade A kaiju here in Americas to throw down for your viewing pleasure. It's a battle of two teams that could easily fall in this top 3, I think, in the league. It could be a top 2. MIBR, great run, avoiding G2 entirely through Kickoff, though. End up 3rd, whereas we know what G2 are able to do. It's been an interesting time for them, I think, coming down off falling just short in Bangkok.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see these two teams go at it for the first time. It's an MIBR, obviously, bringing in the big story of the offseason, Verno from NRG, into their roster of Brazilian players. It is madness.
And they're saying the comms are so good. It's literally, there are no bad comms in Ba Sing Se when this guy's on your team. It's all I've heard from them. So let's see it play out here as MIBR will be on the attack side. 0 Point already headed over to A main, and that's the only real way MIBR have to gain info, Wyatt.
On the attack side with the Waylay, by the way. In the hands of Aspas, and what a way to open things up.
So far, not too shabby. Good shooting there as Aspas has found a couple. Jonah P staved off. And Trent now trying to sit back behind that special delivery, but Aspas has the angle, buddy. He'll refract on back here to Art. And in the meantime, there will be a plant.
Yeah, Aspas is already on the verge of creating a new duelist meta. The early days of the Stage 1 season here, I mean, come on, man. This guy is one of the best, if not the best, always has been.
Arsene, who's been fantastic in his start to Stage 1. In that split game, over half of his kills came from 4Ks. 12 out of 22 of them. He's been absurd, and there's Aspas, a beautiful little 4-piece to kick us off. Well, we're already getting pretty close to the first convergent paths of the game.
I'd love to see the first bullet fired, insta-kill, just an easy play contacting up through Art. You know, typically, like when we see G2 on attack, they'll have the fade to throw some prowlers in there, get the space that way.
Nice round, guys.
But this MIBR comp is lacking one of the traditional info gathering initiators that you see on this map. G2, before this comp switch, running the Sova, now into the Fade. Very standard. MIBR really only having this 0 Point as a tool for that info game with Art Zin.
Good time to remember that the hindrance from Waylay does more than just slow you down. It affects your fire rate, recoil recovery, equip speed, and reload speed. It is nasty to be hit by. Just keep an eye out for that saturate as Aspas looks to get an edge in these duels. Stealth drone here, going to go forward, and G2 gamble off the A side.
In the meantime, it's just a fight towards Mir Cortesia.
He's the ghost player.
The young headshot machine. So much hype surrounding him. Coming out of Brazil last year, getting this opportunity on the big stage. Well deserved.
Okay, Aspas is clearly feeling it today.
Too easy.
And again, G2 make the gamble towards, Plaza, maybe hoping to take a weapon or something.
I mean, Aspas feeling it and more than happy to take these duels and try and get closer to that ultimate. Only 2 orbs away. Would love to have that on the bonus round to keep that snowball building, the momentum going.
Nice shooting there for Trent. Exiting the round with some form of equity wouldn't hurt. There is a Vandal at play, but it's in the hands of Aspas, who look to make use of it here. Working Valen down, and Trent will fall soon after. That's 7 kills in 2 rounds for those keeping track at home. Aspas, he's off to the races.
I can't ask for a better start from MIBR. He's got the conversion path into the bonus round. Basically fires off like a breach ultimate. Yeah, it hits everyone with that hindrance as opposed to the stun.
And it also speeds you up as the Waylay inside it. You get the convergence buff. So you speed on in there and take advantage of the massive debuff you've applied.
All right, again, we're looking at G2 seemingly wanting to do something proactive towards mid, as they did on the prior round, though, of course, now on the full buy as MIBR take quick control over towards B. Stealth droning out of the recall smoke.
Inching over towards B here. Prowler definitely going to get some information towards that plaza side, or towards shops, as Cortezia is going to give a bit of ground. But okay, uncharacteristically loses the duel out. Trent is able to get the better of him here. G2 now fan out amongst the map and try and get set up here over towards this B side where there's no Vice util laying in wait.
Aspas has some serious concerns about the flank with their wall being down, with Cortezia being down when this Nebula drops. MIBR ready to hit the go button.
Shops has just been cleared, so it might be an opportunity for Leaf to activate. And he's going to go now, but might be a little bit late. Valorant's able to take Artazine down, though. Aspas will be tucked into the corner here. Convergent paths available, but no need to make use of it yet. Still no plan. It's going to have to be Verno to step up and do the dirty work, and naturally there'll be a guided salvo to force him off the site and delay this plant further.
The Aspas is just trying to take a timing back. Oz wants to even this up, but it's the flank from Leaf, so well timed.
Okay, finds him one, but again, it's more delay. Aspas is now trying to think of a way to make a difference here. He's going to pop the conversion pass now. Trent and Jonah look like they might be affected by it, but Aspas can't make use of this speed boost because he's hoping to tease something out instead.
At the very least, that will allow them to get the spike down there and play out this 2 versus 3, where again, it's Aspas trying to get proactive, take a forward angle.
Yeah, tucked in halls here. Nice Nova Pulse. Trent got to be out of the game. He's been stunned and hindered for much of the round so far, but it's up to Shenum now in a 1 versus 3. Trent opens around beautifully on Cortezia and closes it off with Shenum falling.
MIBR had their moments where they could have tried to garner back an advantage, but G2 do a nice job playing that patiently, allowing some time for Leaf to work that flank after this early kill onto Cortezia was found. Highly impactful, that one. And Aspas caught trying to get that. Whoa, which one is that one called? Saturation.
Saturate?
Yeah, Saturate. Ah, yes.
Definitely your forte, this, isn't it? Aspas obviously made use of that ultimate there, and it did hit 2 people, right? But there's no need to run up. He just wanted a chance to get a plant down. G2 slow in that round, happy to stall things out as much as they could with that Teo util and allow for a wrap from Leaf.
Standard opening here from MIBR yet again, where you just place that Astra Recall Star over towards B, drone out of it, make sure that Pillar is clear, that little corner on the left, no one's tucked there either, so they can get this free B space.
Clearly they're still cleaning the blood of Leviathan out of Verno's jersey. As Aspas wants to inch forward. Okay, Lightspeed gets him into halls now. Will be stopped briefly by his team's own fragment.
This is a pretty cool way to take back halls. You can get so much distance with that light speed dash, pop flash from your KO into halls. G2 haven't been playing there. If someone had, they probably would have gotten caught. It's a setup for a full retake.
It's hard to make use of that dash out in the open because you can't do what Jet does and dive into a cloudburst, for example, but to dive into cover, it's totally fine. Jawgemo, geez, if you're going to issue a challenge for Aspas to play Waylay, you better make sure you're allowed to do it yourself, buddy. On the Oru still. Artazine finds a timing, or does he know Valen's ready for it? Oh my goodness, he emerges and Aspas just disintegrates. Verno sheepishly trying to backtrack here up towards Long, and Jorg gets himself up on the box. He'll find one. Cortezia's able to answer at the very least here, and the young gun's done his job. Surely Verno tries to hang, but Valen will have this one unraveled.
Yeah, MIBR, they attempt to commit their utility there to fight forward. We saw Artazine's point of view. Those salvos force the players and link back so he can try to get forward, take the fight, but unfortunately just loses out to Valen, who then, after that second domino, fast shot takes down Aspas. That makes the retake all too easy, and at that point with the util expended, the spike not planted for long.
I'm frying these kids, bro.
They're pretty much fried. They have no missiles for the spike, nothing.
I mean, it's beautiful for Valen. Like that retake from him, I think punishes the push. I think Cortezia or someone pushed him there in towards Link and then immediately dominated Aspas there, who hasn't found a frag since round number 2. So it's been a couple quiet ones now in a row. But again, there's a discussion, I think, about what Waylay's intended to do, because, you know, she definitely makes that space when, you know, she's able to dash in there, but sometimes it can feel like Neon that you are creating space in order to just to get traded. Aspas gets into halls, maybe allows for a plant, but then G2 usually have a mechanism with which to move back in, start to retake. Valen can also use like Nova Pulse to get a stun off. Jawgemo, of course, working from top of tower as Yoru. And there's always a possibility of a late reflank by someone like Leaf.
I love that G2 immediately are able to adapt to what they expect MIBR to do, how strong their site execs are going to be with this comp that they're running. It's an MIBR team that back in Kickoff were playing all of the standard old stuff, mixing in a little bit of double duelist
They're
here
playing
and there.
Sky comps still, right?
But now coming into stage 1, having that time off, that break, while G2 were busy grinding away, trying to win Bangkok and coming up just so short. You know, this MIBR team, they've been able to reinvent themselves a bit.
That's it on the call. He's been a difference maker here for this MIBR team, who they've just invested in these 4 young players around Aspas. Now, though, it's a bit of an awkward buy in this round. They do have a null command to work with, so they might get within striking distance to try and fast hit this. They've got a Guardian, and Cortesi did bring a Vandal in.
Now some Razorvine lineups as well, so no players from G2 can flood back in when the sight hit comes through.
Ooh, awkward. No sheer wall trigger either. They didn't set the wall off. So there's even more stall still here for G2 once this Razorvine is cleared. And there's also some setup in halls in case Aspas tries to go there again.
And here comes that second wave of utility. Aspas is just caught in the Razorvine, can't move. Really wants to work back halls. Hasn't found success there yet. Okay, feels like it's only a matter of time, though.
He's cleared it. Here's Artisy now playing pretty close with the Bucky, of course. Jawgemo over towards heaven. Here's that Cosmic Divine getting thrown down by MIBR. Now G2 have to consider how they make their way back in, and it might be behind this Steel Guard. Flash their way in. Artisy down, decayed. And it's going to be Jaw getting picked off. Verno's able to find a shot kill. Cortesi in the corner with that single hero rifle. And up close, Artisy tries to go to work with the Bucky. He's good for 1. And Professor P has to limp away. There's nothing to do, and a Cosmic Divine committed here by G2.
MIBR just finding so much value there from Shenum, popping that wall off, denying all of those choke points, entering back in from G2. So challenging. And then realistically, how much value does a Steel Garden actually get in that situation? A lot of the players just had pistols anyhow.
I mean, Verno used the pistol he walked into the round with to find that first kill. Had the Sheriff in hand. G2 just so unfavored having to swing that divide.
What? Oh man, what was that shot? That's essentially just a pre-fire. On the angle prediction swing through top. That's vile from Verno. And it's these crossfires that they've been trying to set up multiple rounds in a row now, finally bearing some fruit after being pretty much ultimately dismantled by set big retakes from G2.
Yeah, it's that 2-player play out of Link for G2 that's been quite successful, right? That's why VALORANT was saying, I'm kind of frying these kids right now. He's working that part of the map with Trent. They're able to make their way onto the side, smoke it, play, you know, for a defuse, and they know that MIBR gets forced out to be long. But if you are not able to force MIBR out of the site, right? If you're dealing with these entrenched anchors in the post part on the attack side, like Cortesi was in that corner, or Verno, things get a little dicier. You've got some flash util to work with, but ultimately you don't know what's on the other side of that Cosmic Divide. You are flying blind, essentially.
It's cool to see how MIBR are using that util to get that forward space, fight into Link, take some of those very, very aggro deep positions where you can catch a G2 off as they're setting up for the retake. Finding success there, forcing them onto the eco after G2 string 2 nice rounds together. Crush MIBR's economy totally flipped now.
The last time we saw MIBR on this map, it was 40 rounds of VALORANT against Sentinels in that lower final. The one map they won in that series, an absolute marathon. We'll see if this one heads in a similar direction. So far, these two teams are locked in place now, heading into the 6th round. Still a bye here for some of G2, but it's ugly. They are definitely trying to save up for their next. Sheriffs and Stinger.
Maybe at some point, someone from G2 will be willing to try and push up towards B, but it's such a risk. MIBR just committing the stealth throne to taking that space at the beginning of every round, and you'd hate to be Jaw if you get caught by the suppress with it, can't teleport out in time.
It's pretty telegraphed, though. You definitely hear it coming. But, yeah, that 0 point is a little bit harder to react to.
Don't miss me too.
Okay, Aspas. Getting ready just with that refract popped. If he has to back out, then he will. But he's taken a lot of space here and seen nothing.
Man, this time G2, they do want to anchor the sight on this eco. Jaw hoping that Aspas will dash past and he can kill someone behind him, or just shoot Aspas right in the back and Arts in as well.
Yeah, null command active, but Jawgemo is more than happy to fight with the classic, and Trent has himself a Vandal. It's down to 2, but Artisan is on his hands and knees, and Verno's praying that somebody can come to the rescue. Oh, buddy, that is a dirty thrifty. There's a Singer, there's a couple of Sheriffs. That is it. Jawgemo hiding in the corner. with a classic.
A lovely adjustment from G2 there out of the timeout for the first time, really setting up crossfires, anchoring on B, taking more of a risk here. This position from Galdo really is excellent. You've seen several rounds in a row now. Aspas is just going to use the light speed, go deep into halls, far forward, and if he doesn't check that left side, which is you can't really do, he'll be able to shoot the next player coming through. I mean, at that, he even gets Aspas in the back, cool, but you know, that intended target was Artzin the whole time.
Joel gets to move up to an op now. Aspas. He did. He took a face full of damage there on that swing. Down to a paltry 22.
And the 0 point connects onto Leaf. They won't have to deal with any razor vines right now. Do MIBR try to hit the gas before they get stuck? Yeah, they want to.
They've got to go for it now. While that suppression is in effect, they've got to make this happen. Leaf gunned down by Aspas. The light speed gets him up to the high ground, and he refracts back out of the fight now. Still no plant. So time being bought for G2 to filter back into position here as that Armageddon comes through.
At the moment, there's still a minute on the clock for MIBR. They can try to slow the pace of the game here. Maybe cut noise, wait for someone on G2 to peek out, try and punish, and then go for the re-hit.
Flashing oneself onto the angle with the operator is, well, it's audacious. Here's the Steel Guard on active now. Arc Rose the flash, though Jawgemo is able to find the shot, and Trent's happy to play it with the Sheriff. Verno and Artisan get their hands dirty, though. This is getting ugly, but Jorg's found yet another one of the shorty. We'll put Shannon to bed.
I felt like I was watching G2 win another eco round, man. 3 of them had their guns taken away by the Steel Garden, but the crossfires were, again, so effective. I really liked how MIBR played that round in the macro, taking advantage of the 0 point connection onto Leaf. I mean, sickening entry from Aspas off the light speed up top. The jaw goes nuclear.
There's a lot to be said about thinking about using a Steel Garden against a team who just thrifted you because they're still holding those Sheriffs. You don't always have the ability just to buy an extra Sheriff to make sure you're still strong in the Steel Garden, so the timing there for MIBR kind of put them against still pretty good weapons.
Now it's 4 Sheriffs for MIBR. We're trying to press up towards mid, where they have not particularly put much emphasis. It's been just straight up executes until this point.
Aspas has had 1 frag since round 2. Getting quiet on that front as he looks to try and work his way into Art. Jorg is going to see this, but it's a wide swing and then a refract. Aspas gets out of jail.
Oh my god, I mean, milliseconds on that refract to keep his life. He has to go for more, but Jaw makes it look effortless as always.
A slick adjustment there, upward from Jawgemo to catch Aspas out. Now it's going to be a main push here for MIBR, but if it's going to be seen, Jawgemo runs into all of them now with the Dimensional Drifter, so MIBR know they're on a clock. There's going to be pressure from G2 in the Plaza direction momentarily. So there has to be a play. Nova Pulse comes down, but it's only on a clone. Jonah P tucked in the corner as Jorg's already able to find the opener, and Trent gets a nice little pick off there with that salvo, and here it is, the push into Plaza, as predicted. And Cortesia, he's alone with the Sheriff. And this town ain't big enough for him and the rest of G2, I suspect. Not much to do. Yeah, there it is. I heard G2 counting down the swing on stage there. They knew what they had to do.
That's 3 rounds in a row out of the timeout where G2 have been so proactive at setting up really immaculate crossfires, excuse me, in the site. To the extent even that we saw, this was nuts, that timing is wild, but to the extent that we saw Jonah even just stood in a salvo forward. This is his own teammate, so he wasn't taking much damage, but it just enables G2 to lock down the site with absolute ease.
Quietly, Trent's having an excellent game so far. In fact, a lot of what he's been able to do has been on those B-side holds, right? The retakes alongside Valen. The 2 of them have been hugely impactful, but the Teo util has been on point. You saw it there. Artisan is awkwardly jumping from side to side as he gets that onto that A site. It's just easy pickings for Jorg. And that was just the only option MIBR had at that point, just to try and hit that site fast because they knew they'd been spotted by the Dimensional Drift of Jawgemo.
I want to say that quietly, Trent is having a phenomenal game so far. It's really been a summary statement for G2 over 2025. This man has been on a level that we haven't really seen, frankly, since his debut with the Guard, where he was the standout star of this, at the time the Guard, now G2 roster. And in 2025 has surpassed that star level that he was at then. Whether it's him or Leaf, Those have been the silent killers on this team, while Jaw's the one who's really making all of the noise, all of the flashy plays, the spectacle player.
5-3 is the score heading into the 9th. Looks like here will be a play towards A main. The 0 point comes in early, ideally to stop some of this hindering util.
Yeah, you just want to know if the defense is going to try to fight for A main. But that has just not been G2's prerogative.
No.
They've been playing slow, now adjusting to setting up a lot of crossfires, hard anchoring the sites instead of playing full retakes. But yeah, it's not been particularly aggro from them.
No, it's a token-guided salvo just to force MIBR to actually like stay honest and re-clear this area properly. But G2 are not trying to move in and populate that zone after they clear it with Taeho util early. Right between the eyes, folks. Shadow now also make his way in towards Art. Aspas got pretty deep onto that A side there, but now refracting out. MIBR definitely in a good position to hit this, as G2 want to give it up and play that full retake. 0 point came in and forced Leaf back even further.
Yeah, it's time for G2 to play this as the textbook illustrates. No risks, into the 5-on-4, full retake. MIBR, though, it's on them to now get more proactive, find somewhere to even things up, and it might be Shenum who's about to be in this 1 versus 2.
This time he's aware of the push through Plaza. Last time he wasn't ready for it. Unfortunately, he cannot win out against Jonah. He had a 1 versus 1 there. And here's G2 just looking classy on these retakes. Aspas can only do so much, and Trent ends it with the shorty. It's up to young Verno. Somebody who embraces nonchalance as an existential imperative. Unfortunately, the cool, calm, collected won't work for you there.
That's not what MIBR say. They say he's the most vocal, most excited player.
And I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
I'm going to take fraud at his word. That his high school Spanish has got him communicating. That take of Art was really cool, by the way. I've never seen that haunt. It was hitting a nice little glide off the wall. Shenum was like, where's this thing landing, bro? I've never seen that
Just
before.
gaping at it until he has the chance to shoot at it. Okay. Should be the same here for G2, so nothing too special in A main. Probably just the Taeho util. Yep. As prescribed. And then really like emphasis on this link in this Art area for G2, right? They really just want to deny any access through there.
I do love how active G2 have been at mixing these setups up, especially once you get the operator into the mix with Jaw and the ability to teleport around the map.
Why they're playing as if there's an null command coming. It's not this route, but they are so far back off the site here.
Stealth Drone gets significant info for MIBR, who now wants to get into this site.
Okay, they're getting active now. G2 starting to filter into the site. Here's a convergent path that come down. Aspas, though, doesn't look to make use of the speed buff, just tucks himself into dugout. G2 have to re-clear this, they're not going to be ready for it, though. Clone comes through, Aspas, dangerous here. Salvo comes through, and, yep, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now over towards Art, though, some action. Shenum.
He gets his.
Shenum playing a little bit further back this time. It's actually a little awkward for Trent. He's trying to fight his way out here with that special delivery. We are in the post plant here, and G2 have to make the move, but Jaw has an op. Up on the side, properly playing aggressively, but now he's all alone. Brought down in the end. G2, decent run of rounds put together, but MIBR this time pull up their socks and hit the A side.
They're really able to maneuver around the map in the post plant and try and take the fights to G2. They were doing that on the B site by trying to get in towards Link. In this instance, fighting over towards Art, Tessie getting that kill, and then the team are just able to swing back together. They are really relentless in these post plants once they get the spike down.
Young Shenum's a really important player here in playing in an important position because G2 are giving up A and then late reflanking through Plaza. And Shenum is the one that's normally playing top Art in those situations. Tough position to be in. This time though, no aggression early A main. It's towards Art, where G2 are actually holding this quite lightly. Now the null command comes in.
And with that coming in, Leap is actually out of the radius, so this util on A is still active. Armageddon forcing Artisan forward.
Okay, Razorvine is there. Artisan is on the side now, but needs some backup, but it comes a little bit too late there. Artisan going to be brought down. What's the plan for the rest of this MIBR team? It's Verno next up with a spike close by, but they're worried about the push through water. There's nothing coming from there, though.
Yeah, MIBR, they're trying to take the time. They need to get to the spike at some point. The Prowler's just adding further delay, yeah.
Okay, Aspas does pick it up. Even though there's a grab wall that comes in, it's just a little too late. Now they want to try and extract themselves here, but look at Jawgemo.
Okay, I just discovered a new spam angle. Didn't know you could do that. Should have taken some damage through the wall there out of absolutely nowhere. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's this positioning from Jaw that's allowing the rest of G2 to stay focused over towards the A site as the time is dwindling. They know that it's going to come in over here eventually.
I mean, it has to be A.
I suppose they could be worried about a pivot from MIBR towards Link, though it's unlikely. Here's the Armageddon.
Oh, buddy, if he's got nowhere to go, oh, the guy at Salvo comes down.
That's the state of the game. If you ever needed a more clear-cut example,
precise gunplay, and I won't hear anything else about it, Wyatt. We're going to 4v4 now in the post plant. MIBR carpet bomb that A side of the map and in a dugout now. G2 have snuck a couple players up onto A itself. Jorg, this late flake, making use of the clone. Cortesia clears it, but Aspas has gone down. Jorg does lose the duel in A main. Now G2 still have 3 to work with. Can they get into Art? Can they work this defuse? There's still the issue of Cortesia here playing this really passive angle, but G2 have crossed to Art. Time is short. Chenom on this corner looking for a swing. Finds Jonapi, but it's going to be a trade now. Trent's going to try and stave him off as Leaf gets into half. Chenom is going to shut this down, and he does. 3 off the round, and Leaf only gets to half. It's a 1-round game.
Excellent clutch from Shenum, the rookie coming in this year.
I told you he was important in his position.
On Pearl in kickoff. In the lower final was the man who dragged MIBR over the finish line against Sen. This is just absurd. You're simply not even playing a game at that point. There's no reason to even put your hand on your keyboard.
It looks like a raid boss fight mechanic, honestly. It's rough. The 4 is lava. All right, last round of the half here. And you'll notice a Cosmic Divide up here. Jawgemo also 1 orb will give him that dimensional drift, crucial for that mid-round info.
The prior Cosmic Divide that we saw early in this half from Shenum essentially netted an entire round win for MIBR. Here it is in the same position. This time earlier, just to take the site in a safe manner. 0 point connecting onto Valen, so he's not even going to take any kind of risk. Straight up 5-on-5.
Valen, though, can set up a retake wall with his own Cosmic Divide and hit this site, right?
And there it is. And in addition to that, they have a dimensional drift in Jaw to try and get some info on the flank.
I love this. They're pushing off the site. Steel Garden's active. Valen stuck in the corner. I guess it was a shorty. Nothing to be done about it. Here's that retake Cosmic Divide, but MIBR have control of tower. Now, G2 forced into the role of attacker here from the same positions to boot. They're on the wrong side of the retake wall. They can't make use of this Astra ultimate right now as Cortesia and Zenom able to bring them down. It's all up to Trent here, and he is nowhere near the action. Clean execution, flawless round for MIBR to end the half. And I'll tell you what, folks, we have ourselves a game.
A final round that beautifully illustrates the game plan from MIBR to continue playing relentlessly after they've got the spike down, finding the timing to push through the wall to kill Valen, who was relegated to simply using the shorty off the Steel Garden. Excellent decision, and then that immediate pivot back to fight towards Link. All those flankers, who cares? We're just fighting forward as a unit. I really like how MIBR have decided to play those post plants. It's the big reason to me that they've been able to keep even on the scoreboard.
Genuinely sick game so far. Been fascinating to see how these two teams want to throw down. 2 of the best in Americas going at it on Pearl. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, second half will be kicking off with G2 on the attack.
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie. Use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm going to trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
brilliant post-plant push off the side by MIBR that turns G2's Cosmic Divide against them and forces them into a really awkward spot at the end of those 12 rounds. We have a tied game, folks. Pearl is delivering. There's a lot of moving parts here, but these two teams are seriously throwing down.
MIBR intending on doing something active in mid as G2 put the emphasis on A main control, recovering the orb, and they sniff this out. They're ready to fight, refight into mid.
Jono able to check that now. Have to fight for this. Artazine steps up, but there's no spacing there. No one really follow up on that at all.
And hoping that he wouldn't be running into an actual horde of G2. Wanted to take an honest 1v1, but a dishonest 2v1 is the result of his death.
Yes, let's blame it on G2. Very, very good, very good. I like a bit of projection. Plaza reacquired by G2, but they have left, of course, VALORANT over towards that A side of the map. And expect the game to slow down a little bit here, folks. If G2 go on the attack side, they're a little more methodical, and they're likely to want to choke MIBR out of options.
And juxtaposed to the MIBR comp, they have better info gathering with their initiators as well, having the Fade in the mix, so they can take their time exploring Link and Art in the mid rounds, which is something that MIBR couldn't always afford to do, just having that stealth drone.
Okay, so Seas goes into the back there towards dugout. It needs to be repopulated. Cortesia's going to step up, and Verno's going to be the one that finds the opener. Spike plant interrupted here. Sheer wall activated, but the rest of G2 will be able to filter into the site now. It's Cortesia a bit of an issue, though. They haven't been able to dig him out of dugout.
Out in the open, shot down, headshot from Cortesia.
It's a big one now, down to 3 G2, but that spike is down. They're a little staggered here over towards this A side, though, as Jawgemo wants to take a swing. Good damage. Verno, Cortesia, very, very low. The guided salvo comes in, and Trent will flatten Cortesia. And a noble end to someone who's had a great round. Cortesia will fall, and it's all down to Aspas.
That is sick. You can't be getting away with that.
You can leave your respect at the door. This is the Kaiju battle for the ages. Jawgemo and Aspas will throw down.
The ultimate spectacle player. That is just silly, to be honest. It's cool, but it's so silly. Come on, man. This flick onto Shenum was insane, though. That was a pivotal moment for real, because Shenum had been taking his time, working through Art. It was going to be that late nail in the coffin for MIBR after playing a really good defense. All of that utility that they sent out on the spike tap to find that kill, cause delay, was excellent. It is the star power of G2 bringing them over the finish line in that instance, getting them the advantage in the second half.
This flashy G2, it's a lot of fun to watch now. Quite the evolution for this team. A main control taken, orb control secure. Jawgemo 2 away from Dimensional Drift. And of course, diligently, Leaf is watching the push into Plaza. Unless Cortesia gets an itchy trigger finger. Okay, well. Be that way sometimes, Mr. Aspas.
That's tough. Immediately shut down. That was the one weapon for MIBR. Aspas loves to get that round two Marshall. Sometimes they even go crazy and invest, try to get him an outlaw when they have some cash.
So Verno here just ready with some stall util. 0 point here could also be a bit awkward for G2. It's really about timing for Artazine. Okay, surely about now. Pop that. Still, this util's going to come on in. The Teo util from Verno is going to slow G2 up. At least already got an activator there over towards Link. Artazine wants to challenge this into smoke. Then he gets riddled with bullets. Genom here ready. Flash doesn't really go off as Arcros is blocked there by Nebula. But Leaf is still able to cut him down to size. Cortesia. And there is one here. Jonah P will kick him out the round.
A bit of damage done, but ultimately pretty irrelevant. The best guns still carried over by G2, who are beginning to take the lead in the second half. So far, this game delivering on the promise of our first kickoff seed winner, G2 versus the third seed, MIBR. And looking at the time in the offseason to keep improving on this new young roster.
And looking at how Sentinels are looking right now, this could be our number 2 team, one that's shaping up. I mean, Crew also looked pretty good here, but a lot to get excited about if you're an MIBR fan.
Yeah, there's so much influx right now at the top of the scene. Obviously, early days in Stage 1, so we don't really know where to rank teams at this point.
First gun round, MIBR, excuse me, actually initially want to fight for this A main position, but it's a bit of a ruse. Also helped sold here by Jawgemo, gate crashing out. Looking for that link control. Dimensional Drift, though, does spot Artazine pretty instantly. They know he's there.
Just the speed that he's able to gain info for the team. They don't actually pivot into the full B execute G2. They didn't have the timing to do it with their players still working up B main, and now, I mean, it's control in B main, a re-explore through Art, but a valuable kill found through the smoke from Cortesia. Really throws a spanner in the works. G2 had fantastic map control.
They got this A control though, just as MIBR want to explore up main. Jaw and Leaf, I think, have snuck in here. Oh, they're going to get pincered here. MIBR in a bit of a dangerous spot. Aspas might be aware of it now as that horn got cleared. Genom, Notina can't run back over towards the site now, but he can rely on Aspas to get the job done. He finds one. Genom gets involved, and G2 are getting shot in the back of the head as now Jorg is surrounded. His bonus round not going the way they would have liked.
30 seconds
That was just a beautiful call from Aspas Shenum, whoever made it to retake that A main control as he shuts down the last. Nothing for Jaw to do. That mid-round pivot, though, to understand that the A split was inevitably coming. Let's take this 2v2 forward, little bait and switch. Shenum the one to break the Prowler, so Aspas can get that free swing onto Trent, catch him with the util out, and then they double face onto the second player. That is just some excellent fundamental play on display there from MIBR.
I think
Must-win round keeps their economy alive.
The pickup of flowers there, I think, by Verno, crucial there as well to break what looked like it would be a bit of a pinch. Okay, are we up against the barrier now? G2, though, really just sort of postured here early round and then backed out, gate crashed away, you name it. They have left a couple stars in their wake. They look like they're going to be recalled, except for the gravity whoop.
Huge util commitment from G2 to take this space. They want to just excel into the site.
There might be a timing here for Jorg. Getting into Link, he's into Art now, and Artisan's going to go back and check it, but Jorg has the line. He's going to be able to sneak down so far. Genom's got to be careful. He can be cleared from this position with Taeho Yuta when it comes back online, but Link gets it done the old-fashioned way. Again, another lurk through Link pays off for G2.
Very straightforward, fast round thrown into the mix from G2, who typically are known for playing very slow-paced, sensible, well-called attack side rounds where they give VALORANT ample time to really flex his IGL muscles, but sometimes you want to just throw something in the mix that the other team are not going to expect. It also helps too when VALORANT gives them a taste of their own medicine on that round, gets a free kill through smoke straight away to enter into the site. Can't be too mad at that.
And I just love just the timing that Jorg's able to find there. It's really nice. And that's probably the beauty in this G2 team and how they've become more multifaceted since adding him to the roster, right? It's an element that they kind of meet Jorg in the middle. It's his aggression and their sort of composure and their methodical nature. They kind of find a balance. And Jorg's able to just do that, just look for opportunities when there otherwise might not be one.
That's what we've been talking about G2 for so long. They could get that X-Factor player. Take them into that next echelon. We know that they could be one of, if not the best team in the world. They were so close to proving that at Bangkok, just barely falling short. Up 12-10 on the final map against C1.
Don't remind me, dude.
Back. No, but there's always questions after those events when the teams come back to play the stage. Are they going to continue being in that good form? Are they exhausted while the other teams have been prepping in scrims? They don't know what to expect. While teams like MIBR have been able to watch everything they do. At that, they're already mixing it back up. New comp on Pearl, straight away from G2. You love to see the effort being put in from them. How dynamic this team has become.
Okay, this time now it's a pretty known and noted push over towards Art here. And bit of back and forth, but Leaf does at least secure the trade. Now he's again aware of a pushback in towards Plaza. That won't be coming, and G2 start to extract themselves here from this A main.
Aspas has been embedded fairly far forward over on B, taking that initial contact and has the ability to just use the light speed dash away very quickly to safety in the B site. And it's this passive info gain from him that's got MIBR focused over towards A. You can even see they have the shear. That's
look at this
Link.
Is this re-clear of Link here by Leaf into water? Oh, he's going to find Cortesia. Okay, got it. But elsewhere, things work out. MIBR have Aspas pushed up. He's able to find the frag, and he might want to stick around here. Saturate going to be thrown out.
30 seconds left.
He does have the ability to refract should he need to, and he does. Oh, buddy, straight into the Venn diagram of murder. You hate to see it. Now Verno's going to pick up that tower position a little bit low. It does have a salvo to disrupt the plant.
They're low as well. Is the time. Valon's going to take a fair amount of damage. It might just go down, and he does, so we're into the 2-on-2.
The stones on that guy to stick it. My goodness. Now, a bona fide 2 versus 2. it's still Leaf going poking around towards Link.
At the moment, Trent has no utility. His salvos haven't cycled back up yet, so maybe MIBR can do something within this window.
There's a crossfire here, though, for the attackers, excuse me. Leaf and Trent can play off. Verno's low, direct by Leaf. Bullet straight to the throat. And now Shenham in the unenviable position of having to walk up, and he consults his gods briefly before Trent deals him a mortal blow. Now G2 starting to stretch this lead a little more.
That was such a snappy adjustment from Leaf to find that initial kill. Sick individual play from him. One of the other G2 players and just players in Americas in general that's been at the top. His run through
said, did you
Kickoff
pray today in the middle of the open?
was
Because I might have to.
outrageous. These guys are getting silly. They're feeling good. And why not?
Yep.
The second half, already taken 4 rounds. They've got the pressure on MIBR, who are going to be forced into an awkward bye after this timeout from Coach Fraud.
G2 really, I mean, looking down, I mean, it's great to see what Leaf has been able to manufacture for them, just in these, little explorations across the map at times. I think back 2 rounds, like Jorg finds that timing on Artazine over towards that art direction. Able to catch Aspas out on that B long in that previous round as Valorant has been taking extreme pleasure in, commanding Trent to blow them up with his guided salvos. Good looks, got every reason to feel upbeat if you're G2, but Coach Josh will never let them get ahead of themselves here. Rattling some orders down the line. 3 more rounds to close this game out. It's still a timeout in hand for G2 should they need it. We're going to jump in here and we see Aspas has taken up the operator.
Taking up the operator on a round where MIBR really can't afford a phenomenal buy around it. And they've just got a Stinger, all regen armors. What can Shenham even bring into this realistically? So it's going to be on the back of their star duelist, who's been at the top of the world for years. In this world champion versus world champion, all-time great duelist main showdown.
Given he has the op, Aspas is not going to push up B early in the round. He's going to note the fact that there are some Astra stars in play. Here comes Jorg, though, might want to make a fast push of it. Horde thrown out. Aspas, of course, behind these boxes won't be affected, but he has to post up on this angle somehow, and he has to do so without getting ruined.
Yeah, exactly, and there's not really much setup for him to get on that. There's not a great flash.
He just has to.
Could be sent out by Cortesia. Yeah, that is really the one option he's got.
And there's nothing to see. This is the methodical G2 kicking in at a time like this. And Aspas has made use of that refraction.
Yeah, they're not going to give him an inch. And they know when that Arc Rose is popped after the Nebula drop that someone is taking an angle. Let's just stay hidden. Let's make them think we're not actually over towards B. And then we're going to go there for the real execute late into the round after this noise cut.
As a gate crash. This is awkward for Aspas now. Nightfall comes in. Verno going to be affected to look to back away, try and buy some time. A tight angle for Aspas, but he threads the needle. It's traded though. Jawgemo gets into the site. Cosmic Divide deployed here by G2. There is a retake wall for Xenom that he can throw down. But G2 now can swarm over this B site and his crossfires can be set up.
Leaf has rotated. He's made it over to the team. Does Jaw want to flash in through? Yeah, it looks like he wants to fight through this. Playing in the one way.
Where are we? Arc Rose, you can hear it being thrown down. That is a G2 one, so a little bit awkward for the players in towards Link, and Jorg is tucked up on this corner. All right, suppression here on Jorg, little awkward. Doesn't seem to matter though. 3 for him for the round. It's going to have to be enough as Lee tries to spray through the box, but Shenham, the one sheriff in the round, gets some value. It's going to be up to Valen, and Artscene will put a stop to him. MIBR dig their claws in and maintain a foothold on Pearl.
That seemed absolutely unrecoverable. Leaf, who on the prior round was hitting the snappiest of headshots, sloppy with that
just
spray
drops
down.
the spaghetti.
And ultimately punished to the max for it. Artsin, who's been a hero for this team, really a standout. Slow to start, but coming to life in a round that keeps MIBR alive. This last duel win off the tap, expecting the swing, snap onto Valen, beautiful. For the IGL, for the Brazilian team.
And that was the economy for MIBR, just teetering in the balance. That could have been curtains for them right there. An important round to win. They stay alive in this game. They keep the operator. Big ultimates on line 2.
And now it feels like out of thin air, they've manifested a round that could be a game winner in the future. They have multiple ultimates to play with against a G2 who are now on the precipice of having their own economy broken.
It is teetering.
Fake teleport.
Although, Dimensional Drift available here for Jawgemo. It is going to be important for that information. And tucked here is... Oh! Couple tough rounds in a row for Leaf.
Time to slam your desk. It's when you get punished. Just a sick timing that you can't predict like that.
It's enough to make you wilt. Jawg here sees plenty. And are you going to actually do this? Yep, he sticks it over towards water. Okay. Jawg is deep behind enemy lines. Looking to unravel Aspas here, who's still over at tower.
MIBR have a sense for it. Immediately after he got out of the Dimensional Drift, Shannon was looking for him. He might just get pinched.
He's made noise. He's made sound! The jump! The dash! The dodge! Dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Eventually gets brought down. Convergent pass. Active Aspas with that speed boost now, but going to be spotted out by this fade util. Trent bowls him over. Here's the Armageddon over the site, but all G2 are tucked in towards halls except for Jonah, who has it off angle. Still no plant. 20 seconds left to play in this round.
And Verno still has the missiles, by the way, as the plan is coming in, and Trent has to stick this.
He has Armageddon now, surely. VALORANT able to bring Artazine down, but Trent falls, and there it is. A little bit chaotic, a little messy.
A little bit. There might be an understatement to the attempt from MIBR to go for the convergent paths. The Armageddon combo on the site.
I mean, they just don't expect.
He is just smashing his keyboard.
He's bongo cat on that keyboard right now.
He's hitting everything he's got. This is what kicked it off, though, and I would not blame Leaf if I look over at the stage and he's punched a hole through his monitor. It is so frustrating when you die like that, man.
He's just more level-headed than that, right? You can see the look on his face, though. You can see it hurt, but good recovery. Jawgemo appearing in the midst of MIBR spawn definitely threw a wrench into the works, but now we have a one-round game, and it's a timely timeout for Josh RT. The money for G2 is pretty dire. It's going to be a Stinger Sheriff round from them at best. Trent did develop an Armageddon after planting the spike in the previous round, but never had the space, the time, the wherewithal to make use of it.
Perhaps an opportunity here. An ultimate like that, when you're finding maybe a cheeky kill to open things up, you're getting the spike down. Even though you have stingers, let's go for the risk. Let's send it. You could definitely expect right now Josh RT is giving G2 an idea as to what they could bring out on this round, where they're intending on bringing stingers into it, and then further than that, of course, when we get to the full buy round. But that should be one worth two for MIBR. They should be able to tie things up 10-all. Couldn't ask for a better showing from these two teams. The first time they've actually gone up against each other in 2025. Two of the teams that we knew would be at the top of the Americas scene. They are delivering.
And this is a slightly newer look from G2 on this map as well, right? In the past, we've been seeing them run the chamber out on this map here. Different looks for them, and of course MIBR. I mean, they brought the Waylay in here, so.
A very different look as well. Looks like we're getting right into that early A fight. We've seen this before, but neither team has really committed before. It's just this util exchange. Well, I think, okay, one man on a mission. VALORANT has taken all the space.
Okay, so now he'll be tucked. Do MIBR expect that at all? No way. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, you're kidding me! There's more where that came from. Those Zenom's gonna move on this corner. No! 5-2! That could have been more! I swear! 56 health for Verno, and this is falling apart for MIBR! It's a Stinger and Sheriff round!
That is not how the game is intended to be played.
A VALORANT of all people!
When we see that on Lee's point of view, I'm going to be sick to my stomach, man. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Now that Armageddon for Trent becomes a lot more relevant because there is a plant to be had here. Jonah P is going to make sure of it. Guardian now picked up. Phantom as well. Artazine falls and it's down to Verno, who just says there is nothing to do here. Not a damn thing.
What a flattening round for MIBR that comes off the back of a tiny error with massive implications.
The most rascally, ratty moment there from VALORANT.
Not cleared by the drone. Though, listen, with all the util that's exchanged, I understand the thought of, ain't no way someone's pushed up this close. But still, you just have to check it when you're running around that corner.
Okay, I mean, what a time to mix around like that. Are we thanking Anders for that? I'm not sure.
It's awesome. And we'll be thanking new G2 strategic coach, Anders.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
come on.
What a thrifty round, and what a time to find it.
How is he getting the second? Just so slow to trade, and that, he's on the move, he's locomoting. Come on, man. That was I think he just recreated what I did.
Bro, literally skidded around the corner on his heelys, bro. Okay. Okay, well, precise gunplay. Precise gunplay. What we'd like to see. Here's G2. This time, you conditioned your opponents now to have to spend more resources on re-clearing A main. Oh, buddy.
That was a 4-man connection with the 0 point that was thrown by Artzin.
MIBR have every reason to expect the worst of G2 here. And once again, they've tucked the Astra.
I like this double face setup from MIBR. If anyone on G2 explores a little bit too far, surely they'll be going down with immediacy.
It's very committed. There's no plaza presence for G2, no like anti-flank.
That being said though, there could be some danger from the Armageddon coming in because it's always going to go towards dugout.
Okay, dugout going to be clear. Jawgemo's able to take Zenom down, but traded out instantly. Artazine messed up by all this util, and Valorant hits the back of the side. Arcrose is active, but he's going to get ahead of it. And Jonah P will have that plant. Only 3 left to work with, and Aspas has to get in there with an op as well.
It's a high-pressure decision now for MIBR. Do we go for this 3 versus 4, or do we allow G2 to get to 12, and we have to now play for OT?
They don't have a lot to work with.
Exactly that.
Big decision. Valen up close. Cortesia's able to even the odds now, and here comes that steel guard, and Jonah, though, gets the drop on him. Aspas with an op. Verno here? God, he's on the side. He doesn't have the option to get out. Aspas has to slowly try and scale up into A-main control, and he gives himself away. It's up to Leaf. One singular Leaf against the tornado that threatens to wash him away. He's got to take the fight. The challenge, and Aspas wins it out with a classic. They go for the 3 versus 4.
There's no way in hell they're able to bring that back. What was the shot that Verno hit, by the way, in the midst of the Aspas flank? Looked like he connected onto someone jump peeking, maybe? Instant headshot. What a risk to take. Again, it's the pressure of the decision in this situation. Do you go for it, or do you play for OT? They send it.
Oh, he hits the saturate as well on Leaf.
Yeah, you can just...
I got you that time, Verno. I got you. I understand our man, but one more left flank.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, same. I was thinking, that's what I was about to say, bro.
I would have said that, honestly, if they asked me. Okay. That is wild. 2 wild rounds back-to-back. MIBR fought their way back into the game with this unprecedented levels of audacity, but it was in reciprocation of what G2 had shown on round 20. So that's the game we have on our hands now, folks. 1 round in it. Artazine, well, we saw what he did with this very weapon on Split in his last game.
Both teams are really suffering economically right now, so you can see the weight that that's going to have on this round win for either team. And as Aspas gets that control towards B, it's a forward position from Artzin and Link. Of course, one Prowler could put him in a precarious situation.
Oh, yep. How about a Prowler and a clone, which he wisely avoids. Artazine here now is just going to say, right, well, I may as well make myself useful here and hold them at bay. It's like Jawgemo might have gotten ahead of him there and chose to gate crash. Oh, jeez! Okay, Aspas has to get out of there now. Tries to buy himself a little bit of time. The salvos will come down. Smoke comes up. Aspas is clipped by it, but he's still healthy.
Oh, that was such cool pathing by him to dodge the stealth drone, but couldn't take advantage of the good movement by connecting the shot. Artzin wants to get close.
He's always there, bro.
It's a good reposition.
Okay.
And he's dodging the nightfall.
Still, Trent is trying to check that corner, but Leaf! Now the turnaround is going to be traded. Artazine, though, gets his with the judge. Jonah with a plant. Aspas here with that refract active, so has to pull out. Might have seen a little bit there, but didn't have a chance to do much.
Wants to go for the miracle shot. Can't blame him. 2 MIBR players now, though, have a long way to go on the rotate. And Cortesia wants to flank. If you look at the bottom of the minimap there, Trent has his eyes on it with Leaf down.
No sheer wall.
Exactly. Has to be actively keeping his gaze on this flank, and he does spot out Cortesia as the rest of MIBR intend on going in.
That smoke, though, is dissipated in tower, and Aspas is now ready to drop to the ground and fight like his life depends on it. And the map definitely does. Here's Verno dealing with Valen. Trent has to stand tall, but it's just Trent. Zenom going for the defuse. This should be expected.
He's got it
at half. He does fall, though. 3. Oh! No! Gets clipped by it. Now Verno, half, trying to go for the defuse. And Trent in. Bullets, are you kidding me?
With just 1 second on the clock, alone, praying that a bullet wouldn't connect to his head, the spam through the double nebula.
Cool, it's a cucumber, of course.
Stone face.
Okay. What are these rounds, man? Look at Aspas gets clipped by this. He thinks it just goes a little too early. To the rescue, of course, is the newest addition. Unreal.
Just 1 second remaining.
Well, if that doesn't get your blood pumping.
Do you think Verno celebrated in English or Spanish thereafter? Or Portuguese. He speaks them all. But they said he speaks Spanish, which is kind of like Portuguese. That was the whole thing.
That's a great meme, though. All right, Leaf now trying to make his way. This is new. G2 not really. No. Verno. He doesn't see him crossfire, so Leaf gets his, and Artizine doesn't have enough time to respond. He's also affected by some util there. Might have been Nova Pulsed. Shannon backs away. Steel Garden. Force him onto the secondary, and Jonapi's going to have to plant. Player advantage here for G2. Aspas with an outlaw, and Verno went down with that Armageddon. Cortezia on this corner, 80 strength, and God, he wins those, doesn't he?
Oh, we have seen the Stinger do insane things in these last few rounds, man. G2 double stacked up on the side. Look at Trent, he is miles away, going for an art reflank late into this round.
Honestly, it might work.
And G2, they are double facing under Cortezia.
Oh, beautiful. Jonapi stacked up here with Fallon, and G2 get themselves to map point. But it is by the skin of their teeth, and they're by no means flush with cash. But for MIBR, it's an even uglier story. They're going to try and stay in the game now. Going to have to with a Stinger Sheriff Guardian mix.
I love how they set up his post plant with that double face, knowing that, okay, Cortezia, he's going to be coming through art in this moment. We both have our crosshairs there. The other MIBR players, they're going to be swinging from the right side. Perfect way to dismantle that. You can see the frustration for Coach Fraud. Josh RT kind of keeping his cool on the right there, 1 round away from stealing away the map pick of MIBR.
Oh wow, convergent pass popped here by Aspas. Okay, and the Armageddon.
They're just hoping they connected onto a player and would have gotten a free kill. I'm not mad at that play in a round where OT is on the line, map is on the line.
Artizine's got to respect this though. He has an ult command. Shoulder peek, sees now go the Astra util. That's a bit scary. But G2 don't look to try and push into him. He will be allowed to get back.
G2 feel that they have to slow things down. They know that someone on the defensive side from MIBR could be embedded forward in A, playing around the box. So they want to work off of Leaf getting space towards B main at the moment. But MIBR, they kind of have the read on this. They've stacked up in the right place, but they don't think he could be that close.
Finally, some redemption for Leaf. He's been on the receiving end of some rough timings in this game, and he gets a freebie, and what a time for it too.
MIBR, they want to fight in this site. They'll dig their heels and set up his crossfire.
Verno was in between those. Oh, Jawg. Caught out there by that Arc Rose flash.
Excellent Cosmic Divide place with only 20 seconds on the clock. G2 are hard committed to B. All of MIBR are here. They can't even get through this wall. There's too much util.
A plant though for Trent. If he gets it, gives him that Armageddon here. G2 are going to have to swing this wall now with 13 seconds left in the round. Cortezia deals with 1. Verno comes out for 2. It's just Leaf. No time left to plant the spike, and Leaf knows it. Try to lead this round with a shred of dignity is the plan. He's going to go for an attempt. But in comes Artizine. He knows it's chalked, and oh baby, we're going to extra innings.
What an excellent play there from Shannon to get that Cosmic Divide out at the perfect time. Nebula behind it, just so much delay. And it was that mid-round read as well from MIBR. I'm assuming Artson calling for that rotate for his squad over to this site. Understanding that G2 are probably going to hit that after they had taken all of that control of A with the early ultimates expended. Excellent way to get them into OT. Neck and neck game. Both teams are showing out.
So sick from Verno there as well. He's affected by some of those guided salvos. He's able to make a swing and find 2. It's such an important moment. So G2 on the defense side now. So expect faster rounds. As MIBR noses up against the barrier like a kid in a candy store.
Pop flash over the top to fight for A. Pretty standard from your KO, and scaling past those salvos, you can get that timing if you just keep your foot on the pedal.
Plenty of noise being made by G2 there, but it's going to be a Nebula that is recalled.
Yeah, and we can see, based on the placement of that sheer wall from MIBR, straightforward intentions. They want to get into this A site. Aspas, light speed, deep MIBR, they were finding success on attack by getting the spike down and then fighting forward after the fact.
Exactly, MIBR really want to get in G2 space. They know they like to give up the site and play for a retake, and MIBR get far enough forward to catch them on the wrong foot. And here's that Plaza wrap potential for Cortezia. Oh, buddy, Verno, Artezine caught by the seas. There's a little gap, but no, it's not big enough for both of them. It's a hold me Jack moment there as the Titanic goes down and only one player's left for MIBR in that space, but Artezine will make good on the investment. MIBR go up to 13.
The post-plant play from them is so cool on attack and really putting an emphasis on that distance that the Waylay can cover, how quickly they can get past the site into dugout, fight forward. In this situation, double faces. G2 tried to swing back in. And again, it's this disruption against G2's willingness to play a big set retake style on defense. It's that interruption when G2 are in the transitional moment, setting up, frustration setting in. For Josh RT calling the timeout now. Map on the line.
And it wasn't just Aspas getting deep there onto the A side. Before him, a ton of that util for MIBR was being set that far forward as well. Because they knew that G2 were going to give them space. They were going to back away past Secret, past Flowers, and try and make this retake attempt. I love that adaptation. Great looks. Verno up to 19 and 15 here. Aspas, of course, leading the way, but the newest addition here for MIBR has looked stellar. So solid.
He had some big moments late in the regular time as well, picking up kills, anchoring. You know, it felt like when we were watching MIBR and Kickoff, not just felt like, we know these guys are just scratching the surface. Again, rookie team that Aspas had built. Cortezia, Shenum new to this level to play entirely. First year in the VCT. Artzin not having an opportunity on a top team like this. You knew that it was just the tip of the iceberg. Really becoming, you know, they're really becoming a big threat at this point. Feels funny to say, given they already came in third place.
Only up from there, though, Aspas with their glass cannon operator this round. MIBR looking to take that gamble to secure their map choice of Pearl. G2 no early action A main, a very different look. Passive over towards this plaza area. Defensive even on this attack side.
Setup has been adjusted from MIBR, and that Razorvine will delay G2 a bit in the link.
They never did this on their attack side. They never cared to move through mid doors. They left it alone entirely, Wyatt. It's a real mix-up, and it's just a fake, right? There's a gate crash out, there's a clone thrown in.
They just want to draw that attention from MIBR over to the left-hand side of the map while they take some presence in a main.
And they can get into art for free because of that, in theory. But do they choose to do so?
Double up of the initiators from MIBR on the A side. They're trying to figure out where they want to play exactly. Do we go forward in A main? No, feels like too much of a risk. Let's pull back to the site. Do we want to re-clear elsewhere? Yeah, let's try and get up into art now. They're trying to find some space to take, and I like this.
Cortezia's re-clearing. Good timing for that as well. Letho finds Verno. It's traded out there over towards R, but here comes Cortezia. Leaf heard him. There's an Arcros thrown down, but a beautiful wallbang. There wasn't enough time, and there's Shenom. It's looking dangerous for G2. Jawgemo and Valen against two. It's going to be Jaw versus Aspas for the map, potentially.
Yeah, Aspas with the operator still in hand. Not ideal. Slow walk through Flower.
Again, a quick adjustment, though. A flick, and he'll have it. He sees the gun barrel. Oh, he sees Jaw!
Checks it.
It doesn't get any better than that, folks. Valen now alone. 1v2 on the site. MIBR doubled up, ready to take this fight. They must have seen Valen cross there. Valen takes it. And it's Aspas! Gira Aspasin to take away Pearl. God, it's got to be one of the best maps we've seen so far in Stage 1. Hard fought for MIBR, continuing to show that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, name a more iconic duo, MIBR and crazy overtime games on Pearl. That just seems to be the case with them. They gave us another banger. You know, last week, Jaw said in the post-match interview that all the best jets in the world, they're starting to play Waylay. Well, we got to see that. The best jet in the world, Aspas, on the Waylay. I love what MIBR came into this game with tactically around the agent. The way that they were playing those post plants when they were on attack, constantly fighting forward for more space, disrupting G2's retakes before they could come in. They had such a strong game plan, works to perfection, but at that, G2 still quality team. They looked good, but man, this MIBR squad, like I said, tip of the iceberg and Kickoff, they're starting to heat up.
You couldn't ask for much more than this. The two of the best teams here in Americas are throwing down, and Haven is around the corner. That is a G2 map pick. So much more to be seen here, folks, so don't go anywhere. We're going to step away for a moment, and Zoe and our desk are going to break down this ridiculous first map.